Good morning to day 3 of 365 days of lives. How are you? Let me know. Let me know in the comments how you are. Let me know what's happening for you on this glorious Friday morning. Bit rainy, isn't it? Wherever you are. Tell me where you are in the world and how you're feeling. I would love to know. So here we are on day 3. As usual, oh no, don't do that. I'm hearing myself twice. So as usual, I'm going to make sure that everyone can see me on the old Facebookie. Done. That's done, I believe. Yes. Okay. So let me know how you are. So today we're going to be talking about a question by the lovely Lulu Walsh in how you can simplify your sales. So I love sales, and first let me pre-frame this with is that sales is not a dirty word. I love sales, and sales is the reason why we have a business, because we've got to make money. And it's like I said yesterday, you've got to think about you've always done sales. Anytime you've ever been for an interview for a job, etc., it is that you've sold yourself, right? And you've been paid to do that job, and it's no different in business. So I'm a massive, massive believer in simplifying your sales process. And the truth is about, I'm not saying don't have lots of products and services, not at all. But here's the truth about lots and lots of products. If you're offering lots of things, lots of different things at the same time, what happens is your prospect gets confused. And what I do know to be very true of sales is that a confused mind never buys. So my recommendation generally is that you stick with one thing and you sell that for 90 days. Because so often I hear, well, I've offered it and no one's bought it. Or, I've said it a couple of times and no one's bought it. But here's the thing is you have to be consistent about what you do, and you have to show it everywhere, and you have to give it a good punt. I saw a post yesterday, I can't remember who it was from, but it's like, you're not going to become a millionaire by posting once a day. And it's not just about posting, it's about offering, right? There's a difference. You've got to have a clear call to action to say, this is what I'm doing right now, come and join me, right? So there's many, many different ways you can do it. And you've probably heard of a funnel, right? So essentially all a funnel is in your business is like, you can have some sort of free thing, some sort of low cost thing, say under 100 quid or something. Then you've got a medium thing, up to a couple of grand. So that might be a course or membership or something like that, some sort of group activity. And right at the bottom, if you're, a coach, trainer, mentor, consultant, whatever, your one-to-one services where it involves you to one person or one organization, that should be your highest price product, right? But there's a few things before that. So you need to understand the flow of your business, right? And when you start with your offerings, you need to be really clear what they are. Because what happens is this affects everything. So I'm a great fan of reverse engineering. So if you have, I don't know, say an income goal in mind, say this is a popular one. I've got a hair on my face and it's really driving me mad. Hang on. So if you have an income goal, and this is, like I say, a popular one, of like 100 grand a year or something like that, then you've got to think about, well, where is that 100 grand coming from? It's not like some ethereal number that's just going to pop out of nowhere. So where is it coming from? Where is it materializing from? How many sales of this do I need to have to get that? How many of these do I need to have that? And what of all your offerings that you have does that 100 grand comprise of? All right. And then what you can do is you can work backwards to say, right, okay, so what would that look like every 90 days? Right. So if we split 100 grand into 4, which it won't work like this, really, but if we split it into 4 and kept it in its simple form, it'd be 25 grand. Right. But the truth is about sales, like the more you do something, so say your mid-level offer is like a course, a group course, right? Let's just pull that out of the air. Then the first time you ever launch that is not going to be your best launch. Sorry to tell you, but it won't. right? Because you're going to learn and you'll develop, and you're going to learn more about how to market that, learn more about your audience. You might even change your course a little bit, etc., etc. Nothing ever stays the same. Nothing ever looks like the year you thought it would be at the end of the year of each year of business. So what's going to most likely happen is you'll have incremental growth. So it might start out something like 15k, then 35k. What have we got up to? 50k. Then you might have 40k, and then you might have another 40k or something like that, right? So it's more likely to be incremental, your growth. So you have to plan for that when you're reverse engineering your numbers and understanding where it comes from, right? Then when you've done that, you go, right, well, so what does it look like every 3 months? Okay. Now let's focus on, when you know roughly the 3 months, start on the first 90 days, right? Okay. So in that 3 months, my goal is, let's call it 15 grand. I don't know, right? And then you go, okay, so how am I splitting that up over those 3 months, so monthly, right? Then how am I, let's focus on that first month. What activity do I need to do to get to the goals in the first month? What weekly activity do I need to do? What daily activity do I need to do? And this might sound boring to you, but the more you can understand what you're doing, not in a necessarily really regimented sense, but an organized way, so what sort of content do I need to be putting out? What am I offering first? So you might do, I don't know, like a challenge or a webinar or something like that into your course. Okay, so how much time do I need to get that on the go, right? So it's like, usually I would say, if your audience isn't very hot, even if it is, even if you've got a big audience, you're probably going to want to have about 6 weeks leading at least to marketing something, right? So then you go, right, I'm going to do a webinar, I'm going to do a challenge or whatever it is, right? Some online thing. And you then plan for that. So what's really important about social media or LinkedIn or anything, you go on, is that you want to be very clear to your prospects what your shop window looks like. And that shop window needs to be very shiny. So if you imagine walking down the high street, and we'll call social media a high street, right? We are very flaky as humans, and we want to know what's in it for me, or I'm just going to keep on scrolling by, right? So you've got about 3 seconds. So your shop window needs to be very shiny and very appealing. So I want to walk through that door to find out more about your webinar or your course or whatever, right? So you have to appeal to me in terms of a content sense. So I want to look in that window. I want to step through the door of that shop, right? So what you talk about and how you talk about it all needs to be relative of the thing that you're offering at the time. So that one thing in your shop window for that 90 days. So let's say it's a webinar or a challenge, right? You want to be talking about that all the time. So it's like, the easiest way to talk about it is to get in the mind of the person you really want to help. And I know I've banged on a lot about this because it's important, right? And understand what they really need to know. So usually that comes from a place of what their pain is, what pain they want to get out of, or what the solution is they want to have, and whatever it you have to offer. So it goes back to what I was saying yesterday, is it's the thing that gets you out of the bed in the morning that you want to help those people with. So you talk about that, you ask some questions about that, and that will feed your content, right? You share your own experiences about that. If you've got testimonies, you tell people about things that you worked about. You tell them about how on this webinar or how in this 5 days it's going to help them to have X result that they want. So you keep talking about it. That's all you talk about. And we go, good morning, my darling Imogen. I miss you. I hope you're having fun swimming in the salt water. So we constantly talk about it, right? And we tell them the benefits that it's going to have. We ask questions. They might want to book calls with you or whatever, and you get ready for your process on whatever thing you're doing. So whether that's a webinar or whether that's a 5-day challenge, or however you're going to feed them into your course, right? And I'm just giving you an example at the moment, right? And then you have to prepare that, right? So don't overload people with information. Often the simplest posts, even webinars, even a 5-day challenges, whatever, are simple. You give people simple actions that they can implement, so they actually bloody do them. Because oftentimes most people's audiences are overwhelmed, don't know what they're doing, blah, 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 which is why they come to you in the first place. So oftentimes we think we have to really over deliver for someone to get value, and the opposite is true. The more information we give to someone, the more we're going to overwhelm them. Right? So simple is best in everything you do. And I can't express that enough. That's why, my motto is keep it simple, mofo, because it's applicable to every single area in your business. Right? If you can keep it really simple, it's something I feel is manageable and I can do it. And as we know, in the scale of things, like I talk about your goal, right? So here's my technical table. Right, so your 100 grand is here. And if I just focused on that 100 grand, I'd never do it because I'd be overwhelmed and I'd procrastinate. So this is why we talk about the reverse engineering, because you just want to do 1%. What's a 1% thing? What's one thing I can do that will keep edging me closer to that 100 grand? What's one thing I can do that will keep edging me closer to that 100 people in my course? What's one thing I can do that's edging me closer to get 10 VRP clients or whatever it is, right? So only ever it's the 1%. And funny enough, the more 1% you do, the closer you'll get to the 100% goal, right? And it's the same for your clients. It's like you take them through bit by bit, small things that will move the needle to the change that they want to see in their life, right? So this is what you do. And then most importantly, you plan your sale, right? So you must sell. And what you got to think about selling is that it's not dirty. And how I'm really, as you probably guessed, passionate about sales. So how I would invite you to think about sales is that if you don't, as a congruent person who really wants the best for people, who really wants to get them result, you're certain that you know that if they choose to implement what you've got to teach them, they'll get the results. If you're certain about that, you're going to, if you don't offer them that, they're going to go to something that doesn't work, or is not going to be what they need, or they're not even going to be aware of you to know that you can help them, and you're denying that person the opportunity of having the change they want in their life. So why wouldn't you offer it? Right? So the thing is we've got to stop being so egotistical and making it about us, and know that we've got this thing that can really make a difference to the people that we're serving. So why would you not offer it to them? Right? So as with anything, whether it's a sales call, whether it's a webinar, whether it's your pitch on the 5-day challenge, it's about, yes, give no more than 3 tips in your thing that you tell about. 3 things that can help them move the needle towards what they want, right? Then at the end, you tell them how they can work with you. So you can use a mixture of stories, of people you've helped. You can use, you can tell them some of the benefits that they get. But most importantly, you tell them why it's important for them to do it now. Why it's, hello Hibley, my darling, how are you? Then you tell them why it's important for them. What are the differences, not practical differences. How are they going to feel when they implement this stuff? Right? Because essentially anything we do, even business decisions, are by feelings. Because, I'll buy something because I'm feeling overwhelmed. I don't want to feel overwhelmed anymore. I buy a system because it's too much and too time consuming for me to do it all manually. Right? I invest in a mentor, because they're good at what they do, but mostly because I resonate with them. So all of this is emotional. So what difference in feeling am I going to feel by having done this thing? And it doesn't matter how technical your thing is. It's always based on how we feel about something. So never neglect to mention that, right? And how we go from where we are now to where we want to be, and how our product/service is the thing that bridges the gap to them getting that. So that is really how you would sell anything. Doesn't matter what it is, right? But you have to have a solid strategy in place to be able to do that, right? You have to have, well, firstly, you have to have the passion and excitement and the, willingness and fire in your belly to go out and deliver it. So that's number one. Your mindset needs to be key. Then you reverse engineer it and find out what your plan is, right? Then you put that plan into action and you break that down, like, what am I doing today? But you've got a common goal all the way through the end. And that can change. You can make a decision and change your mind tomorrow. But you have to be consistent, right, in that 90 days to get to what you want. Then you've got to offer it often, right? Posting something to say, do you want to buy this thing once is not going to get you the sales you want. You need to do it all the bloody time. So if you are doing your entry point thing, let's say I'll stick with what I said, like a webinar or a challenge or something, then you have to talk about that daily. You need to offer that. The links need to be in your profiles. Right? It needs to be very obvious. You need to be emailing your audience. Is there somewhere where you've got to email your audience? Even if you get like a free thing like MailChimp or I can't remember the other ones, but all of those things, get something where you can communicate and keep communicating. Email is still one of the most powerful tools for selling, right? Are you using WhatsApp in your business? When someone makes an inquiry, are you sending them a message? Are you following them up? Follow up is 100% the most important things in sales, right? But you've got to have somewhere to measure who's coming in, who's a hot lead, where are they? So measuring what's happening, even if it's not sales, is critical. So if someone's constantly liking your posts, for example, someone's opening your emails regularly, someone's replying to you, someone's reaching out in a different way, someone's booked a call, they are a hot lead. So you need to capture those people and know that those are the people most likely to buy. The sad thing is most people leave those people alone. And 99 times out of 100, those little pool of people are the people that are ready. They just might have a question or something that's holding them back from buying your thing, right? So guess what? You contact them directly. So I do a thing where it's like for my clients, like, I'm here all day. Here's my WhatsApp. You can get a business WhatsApp if you want. If you don't want to give out your own number, it costs you about £7. And open a WhatsApp business and go, I'm here all day. Here's my WhatsApp. Message me your questions, right? And 99% of the time, that's how I get my sales. 99% of the time, even if I have a call with someone or I've spoken to someone, they won't buy on the call, and that's fine. Sometimes people need time to think. So you set up like a period, okay, when we'll give you enough time to buy. So that will be, ideally within 48 hours because people will be off then. Right, and you go, okay, so say it's a day, what are we on Friday? So I'll message you on Sunday or Monday. That good? Yes. And guess what you do on Sunday or Monday? You message them. And then they'll buy. It's not hard. It's just I don't want to get on someone's nerves. I don't want to feel pushy or sleazy. But the truth is, they've told you they want you to contact them, right? So you contact them. You're actually doing them a disservice if you don't. And follow-up leads to, I'm not kidding you, about 90% of my sales. And I sell a lot, right? So for one client recently, within 3 months, I did 500,000 of sales. Now that sounds a lot. I want to do more. Right? So that's my personal sales, right? So and the launch was much bigger than that, right? So if I can do it, I'm no different to you. You can do it. The reason why I get the best sales whenever I've been on any sales team is because, number one, I'm congruent, right? I really care about people's success. Number two, I do what I say I'm going to do. And number three, I follow up, right? That's it. 3 is the most important. You must follow up. So that is how you keep your sales process really simple. And that's a repeatable thing that you can do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, nearly forgot the word, annually, right? Just keep that simple process throughout your business. And then, there's a different set of processes for delivery, right? But remember also in delivery that the people that, say you have got a course, right? I'll leave you with this. Say you have got a course, the people that are in your course are more likely to buy something else. So what have you got in your next step that you can offer them, right? But keep that model really simple and have the middle thing, your all roads lead to thing, right? Whatever that is, right? And then you make it far simpler for yourself rather than thinking this hasn't worked, so I'm going to create 15 other products. No, just stick to it. Get really expert at your signature program, your signature thing, your signature product, your signature consultancy, your signature whatever service, right? Get good at it. So often we give up and we go, oh, I've tried that for a month, so it don't work, I'll try something else. Life don't work like that, right? It's like you wouldn't go to the gym Well, unless you're me. And go, and go, I've been for 3 days. I ain't got a six-pack yet. I haven't got a washboard stomach yet. I'm off. This stuff don't work. And it's true of anything in life, right? Continuous, consistent effort reaps the rewards. And you can do this. You've just got to, yes, be disciplined. But discipline, I used to feel like, I just want to be more motivated. I just want to do that. But motivation comes from doing the thing every day consistently, especially when you don't want to. And surprise, surprise, the more you do that, the more motivated you are. But like I said right from the very beginning, that needs to come from your passion and fire, and you're more likely to want to do it. If you're making it about making a difference and helping people be the change you want to see, you're far more likely to do that. So that's a lot of information. Might want to go back and watch some of this and note some things down. But that essentially is how to keep it really simple. Have a big goal, make it small, daily 1%, and you will get there. You can't help but win. Become a master of what you do. You know, start by being good and then become great. And it's okay. Good is okay. You can still get results with good. Just bloody do it. And that is how you keep yourself simple. I hope that helps, Lulu. And I hope that helps you watching. Have a fantastic Friday, and I will see you tomorrow.